How you guys doing? I'm CK with Anion Extraction Systems, and today we're going to be going over a new pump. Now this is the PMP, that's Perpetual Motion Pumps Profit pump. They have the Profit and the Prodigy. This is the bigger one, the Profit. This one here is 28 CFMs, and it is dual stage, meaning it actually compresses it twice. Now the dual stage is very important for higher output pressures, like if you're running propane, or for lower input pressures if you want to actually pull a vacuum with the pump. So this is one of the largest pumps that's actually available in the industry right now. This is actually 4 times the size of the standard Corkin pump that's out there, and it is super efficient. Now normally we bring you a video of us doing a comparison between our Anion Goliath pump, our pneumatically driven pump that we usually use with our trifecta system, and some other pump. Unfortunately today we're not going to do that because there is no need to. This pump is not even in the same class as our pump. This pump will kick the crap out of our pump. Now our pumps are 1.5 CFM, and you may have seen some of the other videos where we've put them up against some of the other pumps out there that are like 6 CFM, and they actually beat out the 6 CFM pump. The main reason they beat them out is because our pump is actually a dual stage pump as well. Now this pump is dual stage and it's 28 CFM. So this pump is almost 15 times the size of one of our pumps. It's smaller as far as the overall footprint when you can factor in the air compressor needed to run it. It's more efficient and it's quieter. Now we're running this inside of a fairly small room right now, and it is substantially quieter than the standard pneumatic pumps with the psh psh noise that you usually get. Additionally, you don't have an air compressor that you're having to run. And what makes this pump the most impressive is variable speed. You can have variable speed in the room. So if your process is going a little too quick and you need to turn it down, you simply dial down the knob. If your process is, you've got a lot going on and you're just starting your process out, you can crank it up. And the pump kind of matches whatever size and whatever speed you need it to be. So that way when you're getting close to the end of your process, you just dial it back a little bit. When you're doing distillation runs, you can run those a lot faster and a lot harder, pulling a lot more vacuum on them. You can actually pull where you're not getting the foam head on it, so you don't have to worry about sucking any of the extract in that through your system or through the pump. You can crank this thing all the way up. Now this pump is drastically oversized for the Anion trifecta. This thing actually could run 2 or 3 of these pretty easily. But the reason we've chosen it is because it is overkill for the system. You're no longer waiting on the pump ever. Now this pump is capable of up to 13 or 14 pounds per minute. Now obviously we're not going to get that on the trifecta because we don't have the surface area. We've only got 3 6-inch vessels with the surface area on that. Now the larger systems that you have, like some of the big cauldron style systems, we are seeing upwards of 13 and 14 pounds per minute of recovery rate. But it will max out what the recovery rate is on this system. Like I said, it'll actually max out the recovery rate on 2 or 3 of these systems. All right, now when running this pump with our trifecta system, one of the things we're often asked is what is the recovery time or the recovery rate? If we do a full-size column on here, the recovery rate with this pump is usually right about 15 to 20 minutes for a full column. If we do 2 columns, it's still 15 to 20 minutes, and if we do 3 columns, it is actually still 15 to 20 minutes. And again, that's because we're not limited by the pump, the size of the pump or the capacity of what it can actually pull through it. We're limited by the capacity of how much butane or propane that we're actually able to evaporate off, which is fully designated by either the temperature that we're running these at or the surface area. In our case, it's going to be the surface area because we don't want to turn the temperature up too hot where we're actually boiling off the terpenes and that. Now this pump is PSI certified with the Anion extraction system, both this one as well as the Profit. So you kind of get your option size between the 2 of them. Difference between the 2 of them, the Profit is going to be the 28 CFM, and the Prodigy, the smaller one, is going to be 24 CFM. Now the Prodigy is only a single stage pump, so if you're not running propane or not needing to pull a lot of vacuum, that might be a good option for you. But these pumps are electric piston driven. So this one's 10 horsepower and the smaller one is 7.5 horsepower. That sounds like quite a bit, but comparative to the normal air compressor that we would need to pair up with the system, to run 2 of our Goliath pumps, we would need to pair that with a 20 horsepower air compressor at a minimum. So this thing is actually able to pump substantially more, substantially faster, and at half the power level of 2 of our pumps that we were previously running. 1, 2, 3.